just a quick check-in with you while I'm on, before we set and hit the road for a little bit of spa time. We're on the 4 hourly on Bitcoin. So, first of all, what did we say? We have to bear in mind what was said. The most conservative draw and the biggest key level of significance. This is quite a busy chart now with a lot of thick lines, so I need to drill down and make them really apparent. Was this particular draw. We had multiple stall and then a calming at, this was a bit of a skittish moment at the low there. I don't know why I was feeling super skittish. I'd made a lot and I was having fairly big account swings on the P&L level. I don't trade my P&L, but I did watch that and I said, oh, I'm too big. So I reduced quite a bit of those alts, well aware that we'd probably calm down and go up, but I just thought, well, I've done really well. I don't want to see this pull back hard. Did reduce a teeny bit, and that was an example of finding your place of comfort. Most of the charts on the alts looked fine. It was just, there was a slight chance that Bitcoin could have a deeper dive and revisit a level. But it did subsequently settle as we expected, and then once it settled, I actually think I posted just before this happened last night to say it's looking really good and it's going to, it's calmed itself right the hell down, and it's probably going to go up. And we saw the alts go, which is great news because the likes of OMG got home. I was taken out of that. VETS advanced immensely. I still have some of that. Quite a few of the alts ended up doing rather well. But we've got to remember also what we said when we were here. The most conservative draw has now materialized, and you are pausing at this draw. So I just want to reaffirm, while people are tempted to say, look, what about that as an RH3 and that as an RL3, and we've got another 1000K. When you're in greed is good mode, you suddenly forget how quickly and suddenly and violently, even for a short spell, my macro bull is not changing. I'm a macro bull. But how quickly you can get a bit of a correction. You've got to bear in mind down there we're at 46 grand. And over here, you're at 52. So you've gone from 46.4, or call it 5, 46.5 to 52. So you've picked up $6,000, $5,500, which on Bitcoin is not insignificant. It's a 12% move. And it was leaning pretty heavy. It was kind of low slung draw. To me, the 47.5 is a proven key level of significance. I think this is actually the accurate draw. That actually means, on the whole, we're at a relative high point potentially, and that should mean sizing a little bit down. I'm going to drop into some of the individual tokens on that point a little bit. I won't be able to run them all. We'll be here for hours. There's been so many that have been popping. The whole game was, there's going to be broad alt runs, and they like popcorn. One's popped and then another one's popped. You try to catch them all individually, you're going to be like a cat playing a piano. So those are, we'll come to that, and I won't be able to cover them all, as I've said. But the key thing is about getting this guy right, Bitcoin. And one thing I will say so far is that this is very low vol. It hasn't started getting mega skittish. So what often sometimes happens is you get a little prong of overperformance, but it doesn't quite match the scale of the two legs you put in here. Doesn't quite match the scale of the two big up legs you put in here. But it goes, say, maybe 52.8, 53, and then you get your first bam, snap in the face. So actually, there's still space and some time for alts, but we are getting into injury time. I would say, if this is a football match made up of 45 minutes each way, or a rugby match 40 minutes each way, whatever your favorite code is, that you're 2 or 3 minutes out of full time, and then you're going to probably have some injury time, which is overperformance. It's kind of late to be planning on squeezing a final goal in there and winning the match, or improving your goal difference. You need to start thinking more about heading to the change room, and that may well play out until somebody says something. You also got to realize we can get that break, and go surgy, and everyone's, wow, 53 Bitcoin, lots of excitement, lots of headlines, because you've now had a fairly, extended run, wherever that ends up going, an ABC of quite some scale, a little bit fractured here thanks to the 50K mark, but you then could get your first bang slap in the face, and it'll come out the blue. And so so I think you've literally got a little over performance squeeze. I would say there's going to be a bit more, but when you say that, people say, oh, it's all over performance, you can forget all about the target and all of that. No, the target is usually a very good place to sell out. It's not the absolute high. It's usually a very good place to sell out, where there's sufficient volume for you to get out. So overall, any bullish moves up here now should actually see you potentially reducing. But this is little wind-up material. So you have some time, use it wisely. It's not a time for lumping on and getting aggressive. You should be reducing size round about now and locking in gains, not over leveraging, in spite of the possibility of, I would say it's very high probability you're going higher in the next few minutes on this. In other words, you're going to get into, the 52s a little bit, but at some point lightning strikes.